Yes, Mama, Persephone said through hitches and boo-hoos. And look at what the fuck you did. Look at my pie. Move your big, stupid, crybaby ass out the way and go on in there and sit your big fat ass down somewhere, her mother said, grabbing the spoon Persephone was still holding and picking up the pie to dump it all in the sink for the garbage disposal to take care of. Persephone remembered noticing how some slobber and snot had gotten into the pie somehow through her fingers. She could never eat another lemon pie again. And ain't you got to get ready for work? Her mother questioned, now picking up and examining the envelope Jasmine's letter had came in. I got time. Come on, Ma. Persephone folded up the letter, thinking she'd give her 2 weeks' notice today for sure. Another thought was that this just showed how the Lord works, because just 1 week ago she received her passport in the mail. The passport picture she'd taken fast and quick at Sears could be blown up for an 8 by 10 shot. It came out so nice. Ma had opened the official looking government envelope and swore she thought it was for her. Any excuse, Persephone thought at the time. The only reason she hadn't gotten hold of Persephone's letter and the invitation was because it was Friday and Mom and Dad were at work when the mail was delivered around noon. You better get your ass ready for you be late. Having said that, her mother went back downstairs. Yes, Persephone thought as she put Jasmine's letter away for the time being. The timing was perfect. Christmas was in 3 weeks, and Portia had turned bitch on her and canceled the planned visit to her brother Wayne in California. It happened after her hoe ass boyfriend Larry tried to give Persephone some play at the Halloween party. After fretting for weeks on what to wear to the fast approaching party, she decided on going as Wonder Woman. At least that was her intention. But instead of going to a costume rental shop, Persephone obtained a picture of the superheroine from a comic book she picked up at a little bookstore in Oak Park. She'd concentrated and labored an entire week for at least 3 hours a day on her Wonder Woman outfit. Persephone had purchased a glue gun with a dozen sticks of glue sticks and just went glue gun and glitter happy. What Persephone ended up with was more a cross between Wonder Woman and, well, to be honest with herself, Persephone wasn't sure who she looked like, but thought to herself that it was a costume party and she was wearing a costume, kinda, sorta. She wore blue spandex pants, the exact same colored dancing top, and a brand new pair of men's boxer shorts that she'd purchased from the men's department at Sears. They had red and white stripes and were slightly gathered around the thigh with a strip of elastic Persephone had stitched on the hem of the shorts, giving them a puffed sleeve look on her legs. Around Halloween, Persephone was down to a size 9-10 or 11-12. The 12 was comfortable. The 9-10 was only comfortable on the bottom. She'd purchased the dancing top the day of the Halloween party and hadn't bothered to try it on, thinking she was so lucky to find a color to match her pants exactly that she didn't question it when the sales lady said that they only had a medium in that particular shade of blue. Persephone dressed quickly the night of the party. It was a Wednesday and she hadn't left the number office until 8:40 or so, or around that time. And the party was scheduled to start at 9 sharp with a magic show. She wrapped up in her coat and placed the silver sparkled tiara she'd made for herself, with satin over cardboard and glitter on her head carefully, not wanting to damage the flipped up hairdo she'd carefully styled to perfection. She held her coat open like she was flashing the full length mirror on her closet door and hopped again and hoped again that maybe she could get away with keeping her coat on that night. It was a black trench coat made of raw silk that she'd caught on sale at Saks just the past weekend. Maybe she could say she was a secret agent with a crown. I don't know. When she arrived at the club, Portia met her at the door. Portia wore a mustard colored catsuit that looked like it had been painted on, emphasizing Portia's round type butt. Portia's face was painted up in a less dramatic version of one of the cast members of the Broadway musical Cats. Portia, girl, look at you. You got it going on. Girl, Persephone exclaimed after Portia tapped her on her shoulder, then pointed to the way of the coat check booth. Larry was over here somewhere with his crazy ass girl. He come in here dressed like Tarzan. That is, he say he Tarzan. I say he look like Kunta Kinte or somebody. Portia strutted ahead of Persephone a few paces, stopping only briefly to give a retort to the older black man dressed in a gray suit, white shirt, and a theatrical Don King wig, who questioned Portia as to where her tail was. I think I got enough tail as it is, now don't you? She pivoted, positioning her back to him, arched the small of her back to emphasize her ass even more, and then pointed to the coat check rack for Persephone's attention. Persephone, Persephone tentatively undid the belt on her coat, then slid one arm out, then the other arm, and looked at Portia with pleading eyes. What? No, don't even try it. Remove the coat, Portia demanded. Persephone took the coat off her shoulders and handed it to the coat check girl at the precise time Larry came strolling up to the two women. Persephone thought she looked stupid until she saw Larry. A tan buckskin loincloth was his costume. It was a large square piece for a front panel and a slightly larger piece in the back, tied at the top with a long leather string with a black thong underneath, which was only revealed in glimpses as he strolled away from someone. And to top that all off, he wore a pair of Nikes on his feet. Ooh, ha 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 ha! God damn, self! What you doing with that mammy made shit on, girl? Portia was doubling over with laughter and leaning on Larry with one bent arm. Who you come as? Larry asked Persephone's chest. Pam Greer. The daskin that Persephone bought was the perfect color, and Persephone thought as long as it was a scoop neck, she could deal with it. But it wasn't a scoop neck. It was the crisscross kind instead. Although the rest of her body was a size 12, her breast had remained a big titty land. Persephone felt completely nude as she stood there in the cold hallway of the club, with her nipples starting to poke out almost as much as Larry's eyes. Ooh, yeah, that's Pam Greer. There, sure enough. The Don King wannabe, who had been lingering nearby and who had observed the entire exchange, exclaimed brightly while hunching Larry